L'chaim.
L'chaim?
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Let's get fucking righteous.
That's a great way to start this.
Okay, well, you brought the book with you today.
I did bring the book.
That.
Book.
It's staring at me, the most printed book in mankind's history.
The Holy Bible.
The Bible. What fucking hotel chain did you steal that from?
I actually took that from T-Rex's work at her Lost and Found. Someone did not come and retrieve their Holy Bible, so
How dare
that
they?
is now Leaving Earth's Holy Bible.
Those sinners. Well, something, left behind, yada, yada, yada. There's probably a story about that in there somewhere.
I'm sure there is.
So today we're covering the book of Genesis.
The book of Genesis, chapters 1 through 25.
Yeah, part 1, half.
Half.
About half.
About half of the first, which in the King James Bible, that's 12 pages.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all it is?
12 pages.
It's that many chapters? Yeah, they must read really slow. I listened to it on audio.
Bro, that's like 0.5 font, though.
Oh, that's true.
The
font size is about probably 4.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, might even be smaller than that.
Yeah, it's crazy small, and it's really hard to read.
It is. It's difficult. The words are hard. So what we're going to do, as we set out on the original idea of this podcast, is to read religious texts or cover religious texts and interpret it as uneducated dumbasses.
Yes. And with that, we have a little clip from a guy that I watch often, actually, Matt Walsh.
He's all right.
You don't like him?
He's
definitely right-leaning.
Oh, for sure.
Like, whoa.
He's good at what he does.
He is very good at what he does.
He's well-spoken, which makes it hard to disagree with him sometimes, even though you don't agree with his logic or his thoughts or his politics, whatever. But the thing is, when the point at why I wanted to bring this it's a video. It was actually posted by Graham Hancock. It's in response to the Ancient Apocalypse Netflix series, which we've covered since it came out, and it is still the #1 trending documentary
fucking love
on
it.
Netflix.
Let's go archaeology.
People are losing their fucking shit.
Well,
the archaeologists are losing their shit mostly.
Good.
But everyone's attacking him, and obviously it's mostly it's the the clone mentality of, okay, we have to attack the same thing everyone's attacking, support the current thing, hate the current thing, whatever they tell you to do. So everyone's attacking them. Most mainstream archaeologists, random other people like New York Times and Washington Post, the typical, the messengers,
The left-leading people.
the messengers for the for the big guy. The big guy. For some reason, they're attacking this dude for offering an alternative narrative. Graham Hancock. So Matt Walsh, he watches it, and this is a good point he makes because. And I'll let him kind of speak it in his own words, doesn't even see eye to eye with Graham Hancock's theory, but is on the same side of us and everyone who's probably listening, that everyone should have their chance to talk about something, especially when there's a convincing and compelling narrative.
Correct.
Here's Matt Walsh on his response to Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix.
These questions and many more are not answered by Graham Hancock, which is why I don't personally buy much of what he's selling. I am not persuaded. And yet, I very much enjoyed the series, just as I've enjoyed listening to him explain his ideas during his several appearances on Joe Rogan's podcast. I've read one of his books. I found it interesting. I think his theories are quite interesting and entertaining and also outlandish and probably dead wrong. Despite what you've been told, it is possible to have this opinion about someone or something. It is possible to believe that someone is wrong and yet still find them fascinating. It is possible to disagree with someone's ideas and yet still believe that the ideas are worth listening to. Say whatever else you want about Graham Hancock, he is, to use the cliche, an outside-the-box thinker. And I can personally always appreciate those types of people. We need more of those people in the world, not fewer. They make life more interesting. They make conversations more interesting. And they get people talking about subjects that they would otherwise ignore. I mean, a show about ancient archaeology is now the biggest hit on Netflix, which I think, as someone who enjoys history, that's worth celebrating in its own right. even if you reject his hypothesis completely. This is not a difficult needle to thread. Okay, it's not hard to say, I disagree with your ideas, but I'm glad you've shared them. At least it shouldn't be hard. Yet it's somehow beyond the capacity of the mainstream media, which has one word for ideas that fall outside of the mainstream. Well, they have a few words, but one of the most common words is, the word is not interesting, but rather dangerous.
And that's where we are. We are outside the box thinkers. We're outside the Bible thinkers today.
Oh, yeah. Way outside the Bible thinkers.
Yeah. So, saw that clip. Actually, we briefly got into it. Me and a few other free thinkers out there on Twitter had somewhat ganged up on another guy who was just talking shit about everything. And why could you ever be, promoting Matt Walsh? He's a bigot. He's this and that. He goes, whatever you want to think about Matt Walsh. He has nothing to do with Graham Hancock.
Nope.
He's just defending him because no one else will, apparently. It's
and I think the biggest thing is he does not agree with Graham Hancock, but he's still coming to his side to defend him because we need more free thinkers. Mm-hmm. Whether you're a dumbass or not, just be well informed.
Whether you're educated or just one of us, just be informed. Being open-minded. That's all it is.
That's big right there, being open-minded.
That's what we're going to do today. That's what we're going to do with this.
But anywho,
after the first tangent. Where do we begin? I mean, this is the beginning, the creation story of the earth.
This is the beginning of the beginning.
I'll be honest, I read the first, I think, 1 or 2 chapters, and then listened to wherever I picked off from there, 3 through 25.
You did better than I did, because I listened to the whole goddamn thing. I didn't even try.
Yeah.
Because fuck that.
No, the reading of it is more difficult, and especially if you have an actual Bible. But I got a phone app. It's literally a free app on your phone called Bible.
That's what I got now, too. That's what I got now, too.
And it just plays it.
So, just some backstory on the Bible. We are reading the King James Version. Evidently, there are a multitude of versions.
Lots and lots.
There are ones that are translated into even easier reading of words of this time. Mm-hmm. But thinking on that, did you know that this book was written in 1611?
Yeah, the King James Version. It's the British version. It's the English version of the Bible. Yeah,
it is the first version. Well, not the first version, but it's the first English version of the Bible.
Was it printed? Was it like the first printed one? Because the printing press came out.
The Gutenberg.
Mm-hmm. The Gutenberg Bible. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the be-all book for Christianity and Catholicism. If anybody didn't know that.
Yeah. It's the default page, basically. It's the default version.
Read the Bible.
There's a lot of crazy different versions that go around, and obviously a lot of these stories are similar to other stories in ancient texts, but the KJV version is what we're going with when we do these types of things, because it's the easiest accessible one there is.
Of course. So in Genesis 1 through 25, we go through God making earth. Mm-hmm. We go through Adam and Eve. Yeah. We go through Noah. We go through
all his freaking family.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
And we also touch on Abraham and Isaac.
Abraham and Isaac and Ishmael is there in there somewhere too? The names.
Yeah, it's all the names, bro. Ishmael might be in there. I know Seth's in there. I started reading it and they said Seth. I was like, am I reading the right fucking book?
I'm just going to put this out. Seriously, that is Seth. There's some names in there that were very, Sarah is a very common name.
Yeah, Rebecca is also in there.
I knew a couple. I knew an Abel or two. But there's not as many as Cain's.
Yeah.
But I will say this, just spoiler alert if you've never read it before. I got very strong Game of Thrones vibes with how many names and characters there are in it and how much incest there is. It is rife with it.
It does start off strong.
Well, if you think of the creationist theory, you got Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And they have sons.
Yeah.
Which I kind of missed the part where the sons get wives. I don't really know where
they found wives.
Just found them.
They just found them.
Yeah,
that was actually. So I'm reading this with T-Rex, and that was one of her complaints. Where the fuck are they finding these wives?
Well,
is that a cousin? What are we doing?
Did you want to start with the beginning, just of the creation part of it? Because that's to me is the most well known part of that Like, I feel like, in generality, people know God created the earth and, in 6 days and rest on the seventh. But
before we get into that, we'll talk about why we're going into this.
Yeah.
On this specific podcast, AstroAnthology, we will be going through a multitude of religions. Mm-hmm. This one being the most widely known in our country, I would say, still.
It's the most commonly
most common still. Yeah, it's the most common religion in the world.
I'll look it up while you're going, though.
But I don't know about us in the United States. But anyway, we're going to start with Christianity and the Bible. Then I would like to move on to the Quran and all that nonsense and just keep on going until we find actual reasoning behind everything in the world.
Yes.
So
to update you real quick.
Yeah.
Christianity is currently leading in the faith quest for our alien gamers that have been playing with us for the last 50,000 years. Right. My theory, but they're currently winning. They're up. They got roughly 2 billion. Islam is at 1.2 billion.
Got that by 800 billion, motherfuckers.
This is from 2019 though.
Boy,
I couldn't find I'll try to find a more recent version. It's thought.com for some reason was the first one that came up. Hinduism is a little bit behind that too as well. Buddhism, Sikh, and then it goes to Judaism and other beliefs.
Oh shit!
Other beliefs, make up the majority of it too. By the way, I mean that's almost everybody else.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Atheism, no religion, no affiliation,
witchcraft, all that.
Yeah, it's just everything.
Yeah,
paganism, Satanism,
all of it,
all of it. You're lumped into other, unfortunately, on this site. So
that sucks for you.
But we want to figure out what has caused us. I mean, so many different ways of telling these old stories that most people see now as myths.
Yes,
because they have a religious background to it. It's faith based. It's not fact based.
Yes. But what if?
Let's try to be realists about the story and interpret what they're telling us.
Yeah.
And to be maybe more modern technology.
Yeah, look at that.
Or future technology. Who knows?
Yeah, who the hell
just
knows?
Use your fucking imagination for a second, okay?
Yeah. Fucking open your mind.
Yeah, grab some granddaddy or some birthday cake and get to town. Wedding cake. Birthday cake.
Whatever, it's out there. But anyway.
The wedding was more recent than my birthday.
Yeah, what the fuck? So, obviously this starts off... I want to start this off as... We have only read the first 1 through 25 chapters. It is literally 12 pages of the goddamn book. And these are thoughts and beliefs on those 12 pages. We haven't read past that. I have never I have never read this book. I cannot fucking talk.
I thought you said you're going to written
something. I'm going to write this book.
Do you need to start drinking the blue light?
I need to start drinking the blue light. Mm-hmm. But don't take any of our thoughts or generalities out of this book from the first 25 fucking pages. We haven't read the whole fucking book. We don't know. If you want to yell at us, go ahead. leavingearthpodcast@gmail.com. But right now, we're just taking our first influence on the first 25 fucking chapters. So leave us the fuck alone. And
gotta start somewhere, right? Gotta dip your feet in a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta get them wet.
Gotta get those feet dipped in the holy waters.
I will say that chapters 1 through 25 does not put God in a very good light.
Well,
he is a fucking motherfucker.
It's a lot of power. There's a lot of power involved. A lot of, dare I say it?
You dare.
Is it sacrilegious? Hold on.
Sacrilegious? What are you talking about?
This would be this entire podcast. But
yeah, for real.
It looks a little arrogant.
So, as we were reading this, I turned to T-Rex and I go, my Petri dish idea is really starting to come together.
Yeah. Especially did you see the firmament page?
It was like the fucking second paragraph.
It was like the very beginning of it was about the firmament.
Before
all that, watch the last or listen to the last podcast with our boy Silent Partner. That was the first thing I thought of when I read that. I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was like line 1. I go, man, flat earthers must have fucking read the first 10 lines of the Bible and then gave up.
And there we go. We got
ourselves a conspiracy.
Perfect. Nailed it.
Don't even need to read the rest. Just read those first 10 pages and stay right there. There's a firmament. We got to get out of here.
But Yeah, so we all know that God created the earth in 6 days, rested on the seventh, and then brought all the grass in, brought all the humans in, brought Adam in. Then tells Adam, hey, you need to go lie down for a little bit, and then steals the motherfucker's rib.
Yeah, that was a very interesting part of it.
Yeah.
So he created them, when they say he created them, male and female, created them, blessed them, and called their name Adam. And then the day when they were created. And
there's a lot of they thems in this scripture.
True.
And
you know what? This was actually
killing.
After that. I'm way ahead. I'm in Genesis 5.
Oh, yeah.
I'm skipping ahead.
All right. So he made Eve with the rib of Adam. And
let's pause there for a second.
All right.
Very, very peculiar way of God to create woman.
Yeah.
He said it was of man. That's why they called them woman.
Yes.
That's like God said, I made you out of the rib of a man.
Yep.
So I got some questions out of that. I got some questions out of that.
What kind of questions?
Firstly, he made man in his own image.
Correct.
So to speak. Now, we know around the time that, and I'm going to go through this because of how long these people lived for. How long these people lived for back then in the book.
Astronomical.
900 years old.
Yeah.
900 years. All of them.
Yeah.
And it stacks up. That's like thousands of years of living like this before the flood.
Yeah.
Was it? I believe it was before the flood.
Yeah, this is all before the flood.
Yeah.
The flood doesn't happen until like chapter 6.
Yeah. So my point is, at the beginning, it's Adam. There's nothing. It's just one man. He created in his image.
In Eden.
And at that time,
he's in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah. There could have been man here. Okay.
Could there?
Let's think about this. What if it was like 30, 40,000 years ago, right? Neanderthals.
Okay.
And it gaps into Homo sapien randomly. And it might not be in his image visually, which is what everyone sees it as. But created man in his image. God must be a person.
The problem with all of this right now is we're on creationist time.
Yeah.
And you said Neanderthal. That's evolution, and we're not on evolution, bro.
Right.
We're on creationist.
I know.
All right.
But here's my theory.
All right. Keep going. Sorry.
Was the beginning of moving away from that type of... That's like how they knew it was like these people this species could be educated, but they just don't have the knowledge yet to move on and become human and become intelligent, like really intelligent to do the crazy things that humans can do these days. Now,
okay,
the evolution of humans, and the creationist idea could have been that God came down, found one particular Neanderthal, whatever.
All right.
Adam.
You're Adam now?
You got, you're Adam. You're the one that we're going to take. We're going to take your DNA, take your rib. We're going to leave. And then I'll come back and have a woman for you.
It's not a
right?
It's not a terrible theory.
Eve, right? I mean, that's artificial insemination. You take the DNA out of the rib.
Yeah.
You somehow turn that, that's a far-fetched theory, believe me. This is my own.
Yeah.
What immediately stood out to me was that rib cage. Why did they take his rib and then he created a woman from it? Because they needed his DNA, the human DNA, to mix with theirs to create Eve, to then have the second human, and then their sons became the real human race.
But what could the rib be a metaphor for?
Rib cage, prison. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's just I'm asking the question because you're saying that the rib is an actual rib. What if the rib isn't a rib?
That's true.
What if a rib means something else? But anyway,
he took his rib. I mean, it's just weird. It's a part of.
It's a very weird statement. Like, I don't know why you would need the rib.
What if they don't have ribs?
Oh shit!
And this whole thing was just harvest ribs.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just making it up.
that was real.
That was an on the spot.
Oh yeah, and we have a bell.
We
bitches.
have a real bell now, and a timer, which I don't believe we're using.
Oh yeah, what the fuck? Turn it on.
Oh well, we're already halfway in.
Oh,
the first chapter.
Anyway, but Adam and Eve. So he made Eve from the rib. Yes, it's weird. Then he put them in the garden, or they were already in the Garden of Eden. And then he says, you can eat from everything, but this one fucking tree. Don't touch my fucking tree, you'll die. All right? This tree is knowledge of good and evil.
Yes. Then
a serpent comes into the Garden of Eden.
What called the serpents, though? It was interesting of what, kind of the way they described it, because they were already there, is what it kind of seemed like. Because he had already, I don't know if he said they created everything.
Yep. He does say he created the critters and the crawlers or some bullshit. Yeah.
The creatures.
And the creepers. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. So then a serpent comes in.
And the beasts of the field.
And the cattle. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is.
It's all of it's the same. The fowl in the sky.
Yeah.
It's metaphors for every single type of species, which apparently,
can sum up all of.
But if he made the serpent.
So the serpent was in the Garden of Eden. The serpent starts talking to Eve, because, that happens.
Every time. Can't bring a girl into a nice place without some fucking serpent trying to come and take you from her.
So the serpent starts talking to Eve and says, hey, he's just fucking with you, right?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna fucking die if you eat the fruit from that fucking tree. Just fucking take a piece of fruit and eat it. It's fucking delicious. I'm telling you, just eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck does this bitch do? Nice. She grabs a fucking fruit from the goddamn knowledge of good and evil tree and then serves it up to Adam, too.
Yeah, they both ate it.
Yeah, and then they fucking realized that they were naked, got themselves some fig leaves.
Now, here's an interesting thing, and I'll have to look this up.
All right.
Look it up. Here's my first look it up of the day. I believe that different versions of the Bible that are not the King James Bible tell that story a lot differently.
Really?
That some of them think it was actually Adam that did it, or some of them said it was really both of them. But the King James Bible version, because it was made in England in 1611, tells it as the woman was the
goddamn
problem.
Bitch did it.
Yeah. So that's up for interpretation as well.
All
because that was society back then. It was
yeah.
Men respect their women. People interpret those stories, and I wouldn't get too far into it because we wanted to cover this, pretty much in its entirety. But yeah, there's a little discrepancy of, I believe, how that went down.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to dive into that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the fucking serpent comes in. They both eat the tree. The fucking God comes down. They're all hiding in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
God comes down and says, hey, where the fuck you at? I like my version way better. It's way better.
Yes.
So God comes down and says, hey, where the fuck you at? Adam says, oh, we're over here. I was naked. I was trying to hide.
Didn't they try to make clothes?
The fig leaves. They put
fig leaves. They were ashamed.
Yes.
At the beginning, they were not ashamed. They were
naked.
They
didn't care.
Unashamed.
They didn't know.
That's something about that whole part of it is weird. Continue though.
Okay.
I just had to say the naked and ashamed part.
Yeah.
Not naked and afraid. Full circle of life.
This
man.
is so close. Yeah. So God comes down, asks where Adam is. Adam's like, yo, we were naked, trying to hide from you. Didn't want you to see my balls.
Yeah.
God says, what the fuck do you mean you were naked? Where'd you learn that word?
I wonder if Adam was packing. Do you think God made him in his own image? Do you think they're packing?
I bet he was probably a little bit bigger than God, because God was like, well, let's give this guy a honker.
It could be.
You know?
It could have been a Neanderthal. Probably big. You guys look that up, actually. I'll make sure we research that in between this episode and next of how big an average Neanderthal's scrotum was. Not that I would really care to look that much into it for any other reason than the fact that I'm just interested. But yeah, there was a shame to being naked. There could have been a reason behind it.
There could have been.
a reason behind it. Okay. So, they found him naked.
We found him naked.
Afraid.
He said, where the fuck did you where did you learn that word, naked? You ate from the goddamn tree, didn't you, you motherfucker?
He knows all.
And then he said, get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
So then, Adam and Eve have a couple boys.
Cain and Abel?
Cain and Abel.
Cain.
All right. So, Abel is God's favorite. Cain gets a little pissed off about Abel for being God's favorite, and Cain just says, you know what, go fuck this motherfucker. Murks him. Then God comes down and is like, yo, where your brother at? Cain's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
They're
it's not my turn to watch them.
You know what I mean? They're early. They're showing the true They're showing the true emotion of what most people do in dire situations. I mean, think of that.
That's crazy.
You're one of 4.
Yeah. One of 4. And then you kill one of the other 4.
Yeah, so now it's just 3.
So now it's just 3. And you're kind of caught red-handed, and you still go, I don't know where he is. Mm-hmm. And God says, hey, I can smell him through the soil. So you're fucked. And now he's got the mark of God, and whoever slays him will something about like 7-fold will be treacherous for 7-fold. I don't know. It was weird.
Screenshots of this one.
Yeah, it was weird. Look it up.
It's really tough to read in the beginning too as well.
Highlighted. Hang on.
Oh, that's the one that you actually had read?
No, I listened to it, but this is the King James version.
Yes.
So then, so this is up to chapter 4. Cain and Abel. Cain gets vengeance. Vengeance shall be taken on him 7-fold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him.
Huh, the mark.
The mark sucks, evidently.
Don't want the mark.
No. So then you got fucking chapter 5, where...
That's the first ever bounty hunter, by the way, situation. Imagine retelling that story, but in a bounty hunter sense. Like they're going to try to find Cain, like the other people out there that don't exist. What's the point? Who's gonna take that bounty? His parents?
I don't know.
His dead brother?
His parents will fucking take it.
Who's he putting that bounty on?
I don't fucking know. Himself? I don't know.
It's got to be something else out there. All right, continue.
But anyway, so chapter 5, because it was written in 1611, has a lot to do with who the fuck was born and who the fuck they had.
Well, there's a lot of names.
There's a lot of names.
Like I said earlier, it's like a fucking...
Seth,
I need a tree. I need a family tree.
For real.
To understand it.
For real. You got Jared, who was the father of Enoch. Mm-hmm. Enoch is the grandfather of Noah. And then we get into, lo and behold, the Noah story.
Do you want to skip ahead to the Noah story?
That's where we're at now, man. Chapter 6 is the Noah story.
So does 5.
5 is all about they've been living for 900 fucking years and bullshit. 910 years and he died.
Was it just... Oh, you're right. That is the family. Is that the family tree?
Years
Genesis 5.
Yeah.
Until he begat 815 years, begat sons and daughters. All the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died.
And he
died. All the days of Canaan, 910 years, and he died.
And he died. Fucking love it.
It's just so dry.
Yeah.
The whole thing is it's like drier than British humor. I mean, everything.
It made me laugh. It's really
a lot of it when listening to it in audio is kind of funny.
It's fucking hilarious. You know who I found out did the reading of the Bible? James Earl Jones.
Wait, the one that you're listening to?
Not the one that I'm listening to, but I heard that he did do a reading of the Bible.
Oh,
fucking Darth Vader as reading the Bible? Come on now.
That needs to be if we play clips from now on. We will say, hopefully we'll find the clips of James Earl Jones.
All right.
We'll buy the rights to it, at least for now. I don't know. Download
for this
or
minute.
something. Who fucking knows?
All right, so then we get into Noah. So
yeah. This guy... was it before the Genesis that it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born unto them? So
you know what? Like we forgot a big portion, a big part actually.
What was it, the Enoch?
And no, it's actually right towards the beginning. And where the fuck is it?
Oh, the one that I circled.
Where it was just a flash in the pan of
the... Oh.
Hey, we got giants and they're gone.
Yeah. It was in the book, the Genesis, what was it, 6?
It was not Genesis 6, was it?
Genesis 5. It's a fantastic one. It actually briefly touches on what we did in the first AstroAnthology that was never posted.
Yes.
Which is the book of Enoch. Look into that. And
Patreons.
So
get lined up for Patreon.
Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And in all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Interesting number. And Enoch
But it doesn't say that he died. It just says he walked with God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What the fuck does that mean?
That's what I'm saying. The very next line. And Enoch walked with God. And he was not, for God took him.
God took him where? The firmament?
I just want to put into context what the surrounding words around this are.
Okay.
Because there's all the other... He was briefly mentioned in the King James Bible. Briefly. It said, Jared lived and he begat Enoch 800 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 60 and 5 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365. And I said, walk with God. And the next one, they just kind of move right on. It's a very interesting because after that, it's the same. And Methuselah lived... And he begat Lamech 780 years, 2 years, begat sons and daughters. All the days he was 900, and he died. Next person comes on, and he died. And he died. But Enoch walked with God.
Yeah,
and God took him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Where's the explanation?
That's it for Enoch. And on to the next one.
Yeah, no shit. Huh. What the fuck happened to Enoch?
And he died. But Enoch walked with God and was gone.
Yeah. Peace out.
But he begat sons, which was eventually the lineage of Noah.
Who is he is the grandfather of Noah.
Enoch walked with God. Interpret that whatever way you want to. They wrote it in the Bible. There's a whole book about it that they kept out of it for a reason, too.
For sure. And we're going to get into a little bit of that reason now. Genesis 6:3. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. That's the only time you're going to hear fucking giants.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing to talk about at the creationist time, because we've talked about that theory plenty of times.
Fucking A.
There were giants.
There
may have been giants living in South America. Only tangent I'll go on for at least the next 30 minutes. I've seen some pictures recently posted, and it was from our buddy, the doctor.
Dr. Gregory L. Little.
Gregory Little, our boy. He posted these pictures of European travelers when they first got to South America, and they met like the old tribes of like Chile, Argentina, like really South America, like way down West Coast. And the pictures of them show them like shaking hands, and they are giant. They are like 7 feet tall, 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
In the pictures. And maybe the people back then, in England and 1500s, 1600s, they were smaller than people are now.
Of course.
But in the picture, it's pretty outrageous.
Pretty prevalent that there's a height difference?
Yeah. But, what do you think of that? What do you think of the fact that they included giants in the Bible?
Well, why wouldn't they include giants? Because they exist.
Yeah.
I would include them.
Yeah.
They were a part of it. I don't know why it doesn't.
They're part of a lot of mythology, though.
I think
they're part of like Inuit mythology.
Oh yeah,
like they're just part of every
Native American, Inuit, fucking South American. They're everywhere
in every culture.
Russian.
Why wouldn't you think they existed? Oh well, because we can't find any evidence that they were here. 30,000 years ago?
Maybe you're not digging fucking deep enough, motherfucker.
Yeah. You can't find any evidence of something that could have happened in between those 30,000 years.
Yeah.
Well, because it's buried under that.
Yeah, no shit. Well,
how about the oil we suck?
So how come we can't find fucking dragon bones? You know why we can't find dragon bones?
The Chinese keep them all?
No. They're fucking hollow. Like a bird, because you got to be light and able to fucking fly, right?
Oh, so
they're not going to fucking fossilize if they're hollow bones.
Yeah, they break up.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not going to fucking find one.
Maybe the giants were hollow boned.
That could be. Maybe that was their demise.
Maybe they had no rib cages. They had to fucking come up with a scheme to steal atoms. Poor bastard.
Son of a bitch. So after they quickly describe some giants, then they go into God telling Noah how to build his fucking ark.
Yeah, that was like a very distinct part of it, too.
Yeah, so the length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. And just so everybody's aware, I did do the conversion. Mm-hmm. That's a 510-foot long boat that is 75 foot wide and 45 foot tall.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I think everyone else is thinking it, who's ever heard the story. How did he convince all these fucking animals
that's
join him?
So that's where we go into my theory.
Okay.
So God fucking tells him to build the ark, build it 3 levels,
that's
blah,
an
blah,
easy
blah,
thing.
blah.
How do you get 2 of every animal together?
So that's where I come in with it wasn't the actual animal, but the DNA of the animal.
It was the rib cages.
It was, I don't know about the rib cage, but it was the Noah Ark was kind of like I feel like a cryogenics kind
it could
of
have
center.
been, yeah.
Where
Especially, it makes more sense.
They took the DNA out of fucking animals because when they say how the animals are coming, it says something like "and their kind." Like after every animal that he's talking about, it says "and their kind." Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck does their kind mean? Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean anything to me except maybe their kind, like their inner, like their essence.
So read a little bit of it.
They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life.
To carry on. In their kind.
In their kind. In his kind.
That's a good point. I mean, I think your theory is scientifically sound. If you're ever to transport that many species at one time through one
Otherwise, how
boat,
the fuck are you going to keep the fucking lions and the camels away from each other?
You know,
that's easy pickings for a lion.
Hypnosis.
Oh, we're going hypnosis? I mean, that's not a bad. I mean,
like
they were all just drugged up.
Shit. Yeah. They're fucking calling some of them. You know what does it? Music, tones,
that
sounds.
Is true. Sound, vibration.
I get 2 Astro on you right now, but I heard it's called like a sonoscope or something like that. I have to look it up. NASA posted it recently, and they make notes in a star cluster in a galaxy, and they play it to music, and it's a fucking beautiful sound because it just makes. I can pull it up, but it's just like it just proves like there is a sound to the galaxy. There's
you want to hear some other shit?
Universe and a rhythm that people were very into all of that, especially throughout the rest of the Bible, which we're going to get to in a long, long time. But call it the bell.
You know how they built the pyramids? Sound waves.
Sound.
Correct.
Sound. That's ohm.
That's ohm, but close enough. But yes.
That's the most common sound in the world, and a lot of architecture around the world and different types of art are based off of the sonograph of the sound. Om.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
That's why it's the main mantra of all them. Was it like Hinduism, Buddhism? They worship the sound of Om. Sound is a big part of it. So when you say that, you know, they made it by sound, the pyramids, I believe that. It was maybe not music, but it was by the power of sound. Something that we don't really ever tap into with modern technology or energy sources.
We figured
it out. We make too much
money
money off of the energy sources that they currently have, so we can't find anything else.
We figured that out already. Why would we do?
Probably has better technology out there.
Like the pyramids, those fuckers were generators. That's why they're all over the fucking globe. Sorry, forgot to hit the...
Yeah. Put it out.
Then it talks about how Noah saved the whole goddamn planet. Good for fucking him.
He landed on the... Well, he landed somewhere on a certain day.
He sent out a dove 2 or 3 times, and the dove never came back. Sons and his wife, his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever.
What do you think those creeping things are?
I don't fucking know, man.
They said, I mean, it's just the way they describe it. It's kind of similar to the serpent from earlier in the story. Yeah. Creepy things.
Yeah.
You had to keep them for some reason. I don't know why. It's in a way he was playing both cards.
Here
like
it is.
Both hands.
Yeah.
Good and evil.
The 601st year in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off of the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, I don't know what the fuck
February
that means.
28th.
27th?
27th.
Day of the month was the earth dried.
There you go.
The day before my birthday?
Yeah, look at that.
They're all going to steal my credit cards now.
And follow us for more Leaving Earth Podcast.
Maybe I'll give you my social security number. Then it says, all right, Noah, you're blessed. You're going to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth because you're just a stand-up fucking guy. And then it goes back into a whole bunch of people again.
A lot of kids.
A lot of fucking
A lot of spawns of Noah.
Yeah.
It was 600th year in the second month. Yeah, the 17th day. What he said was the fountains of great deep broken up. The fountains of the great deep
broke up?
Were broken up.
The fuck does that mean?
I don't know. And the windows of heaven were opened.
Oh, that's a firmament, obviously.
I mean,
what else? What else?
An easy layup.
Just a little one.
And but not that I believe in that theory, but I just thought that was weird. Just the way that was described. The fountains of the great deep were broken up. I mean, it was like Would you think the water, the rain coming down for 40 days and 40 nights wasn't enough? The fountains of the great deep were on, and then they went away, and then the heavens opened back up.
Who controls the fountains of the great deep?
Who knows?
Who made the fountains of the great deep if God didn't make them?
No, he did.
Or he did make them and he just making them erupt.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's playing both hands.
Motherfucker. Bro, this dude, God, he's a motherfucker, all right?
He's got a lot of power in this.
Doesn't he
story.
sound just like how we sounded when we built our first Sims?
A little bit. I mean, that was playing God for the first time as like an 8-year-old.
Right, exactly. But as an 8-year-old,
yeah,
when they weren't playing correctly, what did you do? Now, fuck you. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Wiped them all out, right?
Yeah.
Just said, fuck it. I'm going to start from scratch.
Yeah.
I like you. You're cool. Doug's cool. We're keeping Doug in our Sims, but everybody else can go the fuck away.
Yeah, you'll take the,
the
ladder out of the swimming pool.
Doesn't it sound like a prepubescent little motherfucker on a computer video game?
It's a little guy. It's like the kid with the magnifying glass in the anthill.
That comes
the kid with the magnifying glass in the anthill.
And then he gets into teenage years later on, and we'll get into that later. But
it's to me when he says, I mean, it was just it's crazy. Heavens were opened up.
Yeah,
it was like they had it. They kind of had it. Like whoever was doing this and knew about it was kind of doing it intentionally.
Oh yeah, he was doing it intentionally.
My favorite though, I don't know where this is. It might be somewhere around that, or a couple after. But it talks about the bow in the cloud.
Yeah, the rainbow.
It's the bow.
Yeah, the rainbow.
Do you set my bow in the cloud?
Yeah,
and it shall be a token of a covenant between me and the earth.
Yeah, it's saying that he'll never wash away the earth again, and he'll have the bow in the cloud, which is the rainbow.
Yeah. So
he created the rainbow to let us know that he'll never flood us again. Thanks, asshole.
Well, I think as we get to Revelations, we'll tackle that beast again.
And then look what took their what is it? Flag? We'll say flag.
Call it flag.
And just adopted the rainbow because they thought it was fruity.
Maybe they thought that God was never going to flood them again.
I don't fucking understand how that's their fucking flag though. Like, how is the LGBT community going to take the fucking rainbow when clear as day Not even being a religious person, it says that he created the fucking rainbow. Like, that's straight God.
I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay.
I'm going to guess that they don't really believe in the King James Bible.
No.
Very much.
But, you know.
I think the feeling's actually mutual. I think the feeling of the King James Bible and the gay community is pretty mutual.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
All right. So what goes on?
Just out on a limb there.
So what happens after that? Still a lot of fucking names, man.
It's just a lot of births.
30 years and begat Nahor, and Serig lived after
So
he
eventually
begat
gets to
Nahor,
Sodom and
200.
Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
So this one was very hard to read, and I didn't really understand what the fuck was happening. So I had to ask my boss, who is a very religious guy. Mm-hmm. And basically what happens with Sodom and Gomorrah is they turn this city into just atrocity to God. Just all evil.
So this in here, I think it's a little bit before the specific like Sodom and Gomorrah, but it is like you said, it was like the evil and violence of everything you could ever imagine in humankind. But what interests me was I'm guessing at my very best, Genesis 11. Mm-hmm. That is it. Genesis 11.
Okay.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said, Go to one another, go to let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly, and had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. They said, Go build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach into heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad of the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. So that was it. He let us loose because we built him a fucking tower.
Yeah. We're pretty cool.
We built a lot of towers.
You know.
It's kind of like the mass, like, I'm going to build the biggest tower. From the very beginning.
Yeah.
It was just a natural thing to be like, I'm going to build the biggest fucking one. You built that one over there? Watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
Beat that by at least 50 feet.
Yeah, you done fucked up.
Oh, you built that tower? Guess what? I'm going to build another one. Bigger one.
Hey, guess what, Muhammad?
Yeah. So that part amused me. Just the fact that he said that like they were one language,
one
everything,
city,
one people, one with one another. They could all understand each other. Big difference of like cultures and people these days is they just don't understand each other because they're not from where they're from. They never understand what people go through on any other continent that you live.
Oh,
in. Don't even kid yourself. Not to say that I haven't traveled to any over there. Haven't. Maybe you've known for yourself, but they live very different lifestyles.
For sure.
Different culture, different religion most of the time. They also, different language. It's just the whole society structure, and then depends on where you go, and that's why every country is different. So everybody from everywhere is different. That's okay.
For sure.
But I guess apparently at the beginning they were all in one.
All one.
Yeah.
All one language. Mm-hmm. And then that's when Sodom and Gomorrah come in.
Yeah, those cities just...
And they broke a few rules, did a little bad things, split some people apart. Mm-hmm. And then God said, fuck you. And fucking rained down some hellfire and brimstone. Yeah. Brimstone.
Hellfire and brimstone. That should be the title of this episode.
Yeah.
Episode whatever. Hellfire and brimstone, the story of the Genesis, part 1. To me, it's the most exciting part. It's the most obvious part, revealing to the fact that this could have been extraterrestrials or some advanced civilization doing this
for
to
sure.
someone. Because
how
did they just come down? And there was 2 angels that came the day before as well.
Yeah. And
they talked to, was it Lot? One of the guys from Sodom or from one of the cities.
Yeah.
And because Abraham, or Abram at the time, he was trying to tell God, kind of bargaining with him, being like, if you find 50 people in the city that are good, will you spare them? He goes, if I could find 50 people in the city, then yeah, I'll spare them.
And then he keeps Jewing them
he
down.
Just keeps, yeah. And that part, I was like, man, God's a horrible negotiator.
Shoot him down to like 5 people.
You got like 5 people, and what, you found a family of 4? Didn't have enough. Hellfire and Brimstone, bitches.
Game over.
Damn, it's like you started at 50. It literally went down all the way to 5, but because it was 4, didn't cover the spread.
Didn't cover the spread.
Sorry, Sodom and Gomorrah. It didn't cover the spread.
Doesn't it sound like a 9-year-old trying to negotiate, though? All right, $5. $5. Come on, $5.
Yes. It's like, okay, all right. I'll do that. I'll shove your driveway for like $50. No. Okay, 40. No. 20. No. I'll do it for $5. All right.
All right.
He doesn't even do it.
Thanks for the $5.
Just takes the $5 and runs away with a shovel. I don't even get my fucking driveway shoveled out. There's a good lesson to be learned.
Yeah. Maybe you should have read the Bible.
Yeah.
You would have seen what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Poor kid. Probably got smited by bricks, or was it brick and mortar was the one that was earlier, the slime.
Slime, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, it made me think of that, yeah. I don't know. Something weird. Could have been the stuff that adhesive to all those old temples. Like that they made with the razor sharp cuts. Some kind of slime of brick and mortar because it's old. The story is supposed to be old.
I thought they were fucking cutting shit with a some sort of tool. That was like a machining tool. That was like a...
Could be.
That's what I thought.
Not to get too off topic.
That's what we're here for.
But yeah. We're in Genesis 11. Genesis 6.
11.
Genesis
11, you just read.
Oh, yeah.
And then it begat.
Sarai, thy wife, and there's a lot of begats. People were banging back then.
People were banging.
You know, the beginning of man, it was all about, I was like, any species. You have to procreate to continue on the life of your species. Apparently, this was a new one, according to the King James Bible of 1611.
Who knew?
Well, they were horny as well. There's not really much had changed since that point. That's why it's important to interpret this version as it would be heard at the time, I think.
Yeah, but how the fuck? How you gonna know that?
I don't know.
I don't understand what Abram's brother's son,
Abraham,
who dwelt in Sodom and his goods and departed. And there came one that he escaped and told Abram in the Hebrew. Mm-hmm. So that's when...
Abraham bounces.
Yeah.
Father Abraham.
He
has
does.
many sons, many sons, many sons has Father Abraham. I am one of them. You are one of them. Let us praise the Lord.
So something happens and he fucking gets... what's his wife get turned into a pillar of salt?
Tough way to go.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, I hope they used it. Winter time's coming around and be like, all right.
You gotta cure that meat somehow, you know? 90 years old and 9. I love how they do years.
Yes, 90 years old and 9. The old 909 age. Didn't really cover that yet.
No.
What do you think about the ages of these characters in this novel?
So I asked my boss, again, we'll just call him Boss Man. I asked Boss Man, and he said that...
Big Boss Man. Sorry.
He said that I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
So it comes up in later chapters. I guess that has something to do with evil was brought upon the world, and then God said that now you're just cut off at this age or something. I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, we'll get there at some point.
We will get there at some point.
Big Boss Man, why don't you help me when I call? On Bible questions.
Oh, shit.
He did become Abraham for some specific reason. And then he had Ishmael and bless him, make him fruitful, he'll multiply with him exceedingly. And this part very interests me. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Ishmael. I hope we get to him.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man.
He gave birth to 12 princes.
What part is that in?
Always big into the conspiracy of 12. There's a lot of things about 12 that make sense. 12 months of the year. Jim Kelly.
What part
Tom Brady, I'll give it to him. The problem is when I took screenshots, it was hard to get like what the actual thing was.
Oh, so you just got 15, 16, 17?
Well, I got a couple of screenshots as I was listening in my car. It's the best way to really do it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Not the way that you have with a hotel version Bible that was left behind.
I did it the same way you did. I just have this to take notes that I did not do a very good job.
Sarai the wife is the start of it. Sarai the wife.
Sarai the
Thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. So I named her Sarah. I will bless her. I will give her thee a son also of her. Yes, I will bless her. And she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. It's interesting that they say that because of like divine right. Like people who think of themselves as like God kings. And this is still very early on in the creation, quote unquote, of humans. Mm-hmm. And this story kind of explains how like everyone seemed to have this like God right. I was from the gods. I'm from the divine power and bloodline. Could have been from these people, from Abraham.
Maybe they were.
I will bless them. Abraham fell upon his face and laughed. He said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old, and shall Sarah is 90 years old, bare. They were old. He was 100, she was 90, and he says, yes. He goes, Abraham said unto God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee son indeed, and I shalt thou call his name Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And this is the Ishmael. And for Ishmael I have heard thee, behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, multiply, and then the 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. So God was messing with the gene pool.
Messing with the gene
Had
pool.
to be.
Bro.
She's 90 years old. If you think about the age of them.
But they can live to 900, so...
Right, if you're a young one to beget, like how could you live for that long? It was the first time that they started living this? I don't know, because everyone apparently back then lived that long.
Yeah.
Maybe they lived old, but they could only bear, children because he said he'd beget women like at early ages. They'd say they'd have, their kids by like 28, 30 years old. Like I think the range of their ages, they would say that in the Bible. They said it like they would have begot sons of 3 and 30, 33. They begot sons at 9 and 20, 29.
Yeah.
And then they would live for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So they probably were human, mortal. For some reason, they lived that long, forever.
That's crazy.
It's interesting to think of maybe it was like a soul. There was another one in there that I was trying to find earlier. I don't know if we'd already passed that portion. Or it was after Sodom and Gomorrah.
After Sodom and Gomorrah and the guy going in the mountain? Is that what you're talking about?
They took souls with them. They took their things, they took their possessions, whatever, and then they took souls with them.
And this is a father and his 2 daughters.
That's where it got weird.
Very weird.
Real weird. Real Game of Thrones-ish. Yeah, and I was like, God, why does it always go to this? Is like anyone creative writing anymore? Come on. This is like stolen off of George R.R. Martin.
I think the other way around.
Debatable.
So this guy and his 2 daughters go into a mountain to flee from Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get, caught on fire.
Then get burned. And then blame him.
A while
they get nuked over there. Fire and brimstone. Okay. Just brimstone falling out of the air. Sure, that's what that was. It was a fucking atom bomb.
It could have been.
Yeah. Well, there's my Sodom and Gomorrah theory. Not that big of a one, is it?
You gotta actually hit it though.
I
think it's a little one because I think anybody could. That I guess somebody
hellfire and brimstone is just being
an
atom bomb, and that's when it started. That's when this all started. That's when disclosure for them started. The ones that we speak of up there.
No shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Hellfire and brimstone, baby.
So then the guy and the 2 girls
go to the mountain.
They're in the mountain, just chilling. It's been a while.
Was it Abraham or no? Someone else.
Someone else.
Lot.
Lot.
What a name.
Yeah.
It didn't fit with the rest of like the hero. No one ever names their guy Lot. And that's probably why.
I'm sure.
A pervert.
Yeah. It's not his fault.
No,
his daughter's a pervert.
Got him drunk.
Yeah, daughter got him drunk.
Odd.
Yeah.
Odd wave.
And then
interpreting a story that I don't know if is the same in every single version. I don't know. I don't know.
And then the one daughter who got her father drunk and had sex with him goes to the other daughter the following night and says, "Hey, hop on that dick."
Weird. Game of Thrones.
Like, I don't understand. Like, what is that? Why is that pertinent to the story?
They wanted to save his seed or something like that.
Yeah, they wanted to let his name live on or something.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Which is just weird.
It's weird.
And I was like reading it. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
That's actually where I cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 21. It was around the 21st.
Was it? I don't know about all that.
Because
you didn't get into Abraham and Isaac?
Well, I got down to the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah, brimstone and fire, Lord out of heaven. So it's not fire and brimstone. Fire and brimstone sounds better. Overthrew those cities, all the plain, the inhabitants of the cities which they grew upon the ground. Yeah, the pillar of salt. Pillar of salt. I think that's why I had that circled earlier, not to go back too far.
You're good.
But when it hit and she turned into a pillar of salt, do you not think of atom bomb? Dissolved into a pillar of salt.
Yeah.
Where you're just vaporized.
The problem with that one is I think she was with people when she turned into a pillar of salt.
Out of the blast zone, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, but the people were that were standing right with her.
They could have been salt piles too. Who knows?
So my boss man said that it's because she was longing for Sodom and Gomorrah. She wanted to go back to Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why she turned into a pillar of salt.
Okay. That makes sense.
That does make sense. I was like, way to clear that gap up for me, buddy.
Appreciate it. When they make things clear,
yeah.
I really appreciate it, because that's only about 10% of the time. That's why it's up for interpretation.
So you didn't get into Abraham and Isaac?
I don't believe so. I think it was rated. I finished off right around the time as when he was taking his daughters into the mountain to hide because they couldn't find it. His wife was turned into piles of salt.
Yep.
And
yeah, so they all have children, and it goes through their whole lineage again
because they have a new lineage.
Yep. And then it goes back to Abraham and Isaac.
Okay.
So Abraham.
Did we get into Abraham, like kind of who he is?
No, I didn't get into it.
I don't know if he's, or which one is through Abram, Japheth and Ham, and that was like all the way through like Jared and Kenan and Enosh and Seth. That was all the way up from there. So yeah, he must be past that. That's what I'm saying. Like all these people lived for 900 years, 900 years, 900 years. So that's like, if you add them all up, it's pretty close to. And Enoch only lived for 365 years. That's important. Everyone else lived for 905, 910, 895, 962, 782, 777, and then Noah came around. Those are the ancestors of everyone.
Are you just saying that it's important because it's less than everybody?
Abraham is like of the lineage of someone in there.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who. It could be Enoch and Noah and all of them.
Well, it's got to be because Noah repopulated the whole earth.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah, it's down there somewhere. It got pretty tight, actually. A lot of people died on that left side of this family tree. I could post this one from up there at the very top. Adam and Eve, Cain, Abel. Everyone that came out of that. It's an interesting little family tree there, but it still doesn't answer where the fuck Abraham came from. That's unfortunate. Look it up.
Look it up.
All right.
But Abraham gets commanded by God to bring his son to the top of the mountain for offering. What he called a burnt offering. So this is where we come into, I don't know, I'll say 15, 16-year-old kid playing Sims. And he's got his buddy over. Fucking Abraham's got his knife right above his son. And the fucking dude playing the game's like, look what I can do. And he gets right to about to stab his fucking son. And he's like, whoa! You've proven yourself. You're good. You can stop.
Worthy to God.
Yeah. So here's a goat. Slay that thing. Don't kill your kid.
So he burned the goat.
So he fucking slayed the goat.
Don't burn the pig.
But what kind of God says, hey, go kill your son for me?
Not a nice one.
What kind of evil ass motherfucker says, hey, you know that one son you got? I don't really like him. Mm-hmm. Bring him up there and gut him and then torch him. Just cause.
No.
I mean, and then who the fuck follows through with it?
A man who fears God.
Yeah. Fuck that.
God-fearing man.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. Why should I fear him?
Some people who would probably, dissociate themselves from the Bible completely would say that potentially these stories are people who are just nuts.
Yeah.
It could be okay to perceive that too as well.
I mean,
really.
Yeah.
If you've actually gone through and read it or seen passages, just the stories that you hear, I mean, the shit that people do.
People
do it now.
People are retarded. I'm not
people,
gonna lie.
when they do it, how about when the people?
I'm gonna get canceled for saying the R word.
Yeah, you gotta stop saying the R word.
I'm sorry.
You make it cringe every single time you say it.
I do. You do?
Well, you could. I mean, we have the editing technology.
Why do you cringe?
It's just not a nice word to say.
You don't like the R word?
No, it's a bad word. It's a dirty word. I put it up there with the N and the F. NFR, man. NFR. Stick by it. Stay by it. Golden 3.
Fnur.
Shouldn't say it.
All right.
That's it.
All right. You're right.
Point made. Bang. Let's cheers to that one.
Cheers to that one.
You need a freshie?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Fnur.
So I'm going to go back on the faith-based thing, though.
Yeah.
The cult that we were talking about recently.
Which one?
The ones that killed themselves that thought they were going to heaven. They wore the Nikes.
Yeah, they got to catch that comet that was flying by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were the names of those guys?
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. That's it.
Heaven's Gate.
So that's, again, people that interpret the Bible, prophecies. They're just nuts.
That's what they
think, though. That's what they think. They're interpreting it a certain way, and it's like they're the same type of people that you read about in the Bible.
Yeah.
They think about, God told me to go out there up to this mountain and slay my son, burn my son. And then I thought, no. And then he said, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Maybe you're just nuts.
Maybe you're just schizophrenic.
There's a point to be had in that story, too. But maybe only because I hadn't read that far. But clearly, as you had been kind of getting to, and your point was that, why would God do that?
Why would God do that?
Why would a good-natured, man who created, someone who had created it, man in his image.
Why would your good God?
But they don't.
Why would your
forces of God kill a lot of people?
Like, let's narrow it down though. All right, so he put the fucking tree in the Garden of Eden, knowing goddamn well that we were going to eat from the goddamn tree.
Temptation.
Like, come on. Why taunt us? Right there, you're taunting us.
Temptation.
Then you fucking have your angels come down and have fucking sex with our daughters. And then we got giants, and then you're just throwing a big-ass tantrum saying you're not playing with my toys right. Get the fuck out. I'm sending the flood. Mm-hmm. And then you say, all right, all y'all can come together in Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh, wait, not that way. Go fuck yourself. Brimstone. And then he's just like, you know what? This Abraham guy, he's not having a hard enough time in life. We're going to say, hey, go kill your boy up in the mountain. Nah, I'm just kidding. Here's a goat. Like, what the fuck kind of God? Now, this is just the first 25 chapters, first 12 pages of the book. Already having second doubts. Like, I don't know if I want to read on. Because I'm going to, because I do want to read on.
The wrath of God is strong.
Like, how do you get past the first 12 fucking pages of this book and be like, that's the God I'm following?
It's not. That's the whole part of the whole God-fearing narrative that you'll hear. You know, I don't fear man, I fear God. It's a mantra of
I know.
Catholicism or Christianity, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's true because they've known the stories. They read these stories. They probably could tell you that without even reading it. They could tell you the whole thing.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Most people back in the day, like probably the 1800s, that's all they would read.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they
that's
could recite it, tell us what this was at a dinner party.
Because that's the only book they
the whole thing. Yeah.
They
could read it all out. There was no television, no fucking smartphones, no shit. They're reading every day the Bible. It's no wonder that they all grow up to be the way it is and how religion was so strong for so long. And I'm sure every single religion is the same way with their ancient texts and the followers of those religions because that's all they had to read forever.
Yeah.
It's this book was the oldest book. No one knows who wrote it. No one knows.
James.
King James came up with a version, which we're rolling with.
That's the one we're reading.
Thank you, Jimmy. Cheers to Jimmy K, baby, the King James.
Cheers.
Cheers to Jimmy. Thank you for your version. He bestowed upon us this version that most people read these days and interpret. And again, that's why we're doing this. Well, you can give a 2022 version of what these stories are supposed to mean. What they might be. For real.
I'm not the editing capability of some people. Mm-hmm. I hope somebody, when we're done reading this book, edits all of them together and makes like a fucking little montage movie.
I was actually thinking a cartoon.
Yeah, that'd be fucking badass.
Yeah,
this is a fucking hour-and-a-half cartoon of the Bible. Boom.
Yes,
by me doing the motherfuckers and everything.
Personally, I'd want to be a squirrel.
Yeah,
yeah. I just feel like I have a kinship with them. And I think someone as like a friendly squirrel and saying the shit that comes out of my mouth would be funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to go with like a Rocky and Bullwinkle kind of thing. So like,
how about
something else like a fucking ferret or something like that?
But how many times did you laugh when they said ass?
I didn't see a cock yet, but I've seen asses. I know from George Carlin's famous skit that cock is in the Bible.
It is?
Yeah.
No shit.
Somewhere.
I haven't seen cock yet.
But I've seen asses.
No
cocks yet. This isn't chat roulette in the fucking early 2010s.
It said that it was loaded up as asses, and I was fucking dying.
It was a lot of asses. A lot of asses. But they rounded them up.
Yep.
They rounded up all the asses.
Apparently
that was an important tool of Noah.
The days of yore. Yeah.
The days of yore. The days of long ago.
Yeah.
I'd say, beyond that, what is your overall take on the first part?
So the first
of this story.
The first part of this story is, I don't know why everybody's all hoopla about this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds like a god that can't make up his fucking mind and doesn't know what he really wants.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay.
Can't
wait to read on.
That's a great way to say that we had only read about a fucking 16th of it so far, if that.
I think it's more like a 64th.
A 64th.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. We got a long way to
go.
Long way to go. A couple to throw into the mix, too. We might have some other fellow people joining us.
Yeah, why not?
Shortly, we've got a coordinated time with our man Liberties.
Yes.
What was it?
At Liberties?
No, it's Liberties, like a T-shirt.
Yeah.
What was it? It's actually got some great shirts.
Liberties for all.
I want Liberties. IWANTLIBERTEES.
There you go.
So,
there's
I want Liberties. There's a shout out for our boy.
Shout out to Dr. Gregory Little.
Mr. Little, as always.
Please hit us up.
Yeah. We talked to him for a little bit, but I don't think he's coming on the pod.
What are you going to do? But, also, we have our Patreon. Please go visit Patreon. That is patreon.com at Podcast. Make sure to add that podcast at the end. Hit us up on Twitter. Talk to JA directly at leavingearthpod.
Actually got our own Johnny Anchor's Twitter handle now.
Oh,
too.
shit.
I'm going to make you one as well. I'm going to get you onto it.
Well, Elon's part of it, so I'll probably get on it.
I didn't want to tell you until right now so I can get your live reaction. But I will create you your very own account. Link to the email.
You know I've never been on Twitter, right?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Welcome.
I don't know how this really works. So.
Welcome to the new age. Going to get you on there. Get your own handle. I was thinking about what it was going to be because mine's at Johnny_Anchors.
Okay.
Spelled normal.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do yours as, so we got to come up with that.
Beej?
Yeah, but Beej is probably taken.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
We'll do it right now. Live on air, just for you people on Patreon. We're coming up with Beej's name. Subscribe, and you'll hear the rest of this. Ding.
Ding.
All right. Did we get your Twitter name in there on the last one?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. All right.
I spelled it out.
At BJFF.
BJFF.
You try and say that. I mean, it's spelled fantastically.
I love it.
Son of Noah.
Yep.
Mixed with our man Beej. They had a son. It was the bastard of the Bible that no one ever talked about. His name was Beejafeth. He is from the Bible, and he is here with us, and he is now on Twitter.
Look at that. That is
Beejafeth.
At Beejafeth. That is BEEJAPHETH.
There you go.
Beejafeth.
Beejafeth. Figure out the pronunciation we want to. We thought Beejapeth for a while. I don't know. I don't know. It's whatever. It's up for interpretation like the entire book.
Exactly. My whole life.
Yeah.
Johnny it's up Anchors, for interpretation.
It is. It is.
Oh, I almost listened.
So, I guess
that's it, man.
That being said, thank you for listening.
Cheers.
Always a pleasure, man. Cheers. Take it easy.
Peace.